Hey guys, it's Dr. Rick and welcome to another Functional Fitness Friday. Over the past couple of weeks we've gone over functional movements such as the push-pull, the hip hinge, and some variations of those. Now today what I would like to go over is rotation. Rotation is super important whether you're just walking, creating a kind of reciprocal arm swing, or you're an athlete, working on throwing and reaching and things like that. But if we look at the transverse plane motions, most injuries do happen in that rotary or transverse plane. So whether you're an athlete and you're planting and you're twisting, or you're the average person just kind of going to bend forward doing something, or raking or shoveling or whatever, most injuries do happen in that transverse plane motion. So what we really want to look at is training that transverse plane motion very functionally in the water. So as we talked about in our previous video, when I think we looked at the alternating push-pull, most rotation should be happening from your thoracic spine or your hips, not your low back. So the thoracic spine has 35 degrees of rotation, the hips have about 45 degrees of internal rotation, and the lumbar spine, L1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, total has about 13 degrees of rotation. So the lumbar spine shouldn't be rotating all that much. So one of the exercises that I really like to use when I'm starting to train rotation, especially hip rotation in the water, is just a straight arm core rotation. So what I want to do today is show you some 3 variations with 3 different devices using that. And the first one I'll use is the med ball. So when we use the med ball, like we talked about before, I really like the med ball because it floats and it gives you a little bit of stability and some different proprioceptive input. But how I teach this exercise, feet is about shoulder width apart, arms are straight out in front, chest is stuck out with the scapula kind of retracted. So a good posture from this position, not super forward. So you're in this position, so the chin, chest, and ball are all going to stay together. And as you rotate to one side and then the other, all the rotation is going to come from that hip joint. So the stability is in the thoracic spine, that core. Like we talked about, the core's role in rotation is to resist rotation. So it's an anti-rotator. So you're here, good posture, balls under the water, a little bit of stability, rotate, and then rotate. Common substitutions you're going to see are people are going to be leaning too much because they don't have the stability, or they're going to be really kind of twisting as opposed to rotating. So we want that kind of rotating, stabilizing. And then from the ball, a variation of that, you could use the Speedo push plate, which I really like because we have 2 handles, one on each side. It's going to give you some nice entry-level resistance, I think, for this. But again, keeping everything aligned. And then what I'll go to is my favorite device is the kickboard. So, this is going to give you a lot of buoyancy, so you have to push down and stabilize. And it's going to also give your client more of a guide to go with. So I always say keep that board right in the middle of your chest and then rotate, rotate. And you're going to see a lot of resistance with that. So maybe start them off halfway under the water or go to a smaller board that they can submerge all the way. But here, rotating and rotating. And again, you're going to really have to cue a lot for substitution because this exercise is very, very, very easily substituted. So I like those 3 devices to use. You can use whatever device you want as well. I'll show you the videos using each of these devices. And again, feedback is appreciated. If you guys are looking for any really good aquatic functional training, check out rickmcavoyaquatics.com. And here's the videos, and we'll see you guys next week. See ya.